What's up, vapors? Nick here for Spin Fuel's Daily Vape TV. Today we have Gwar Fluids by Mount Baker Vapor. Very excited to try this line and give you guys my reviews. Right now I have a 0.3 ohm dual 26 gauge build in this still air clone. We're going to be rocking the Gwar Y4 flavor first. But first I want to give you a little bit of background on the Gwar Fluids line. I'm going to read you an email sent directly from the owner of Mount Baker Vapor, Michael Sullivan. So let's just get it up here. Alright, so basically it starts out, yes, these are officially licensed by Gwar. We have been working with them, mostly Jameson Land, aka Beefcake the Mighty, as he's an official endorser of our company for over a year now. Jameson and myself collaborated on the idea and then worked directly with our R&D guy to develop and tweak flavors until we had something we all loved. We would make samples and send them to Jameson, and he would send back notes. It took about 8 months on that to get to the 5 flavors we decided on. Bottles are only available in 30 milliliter glass bottles and are pre-steeped. Price point is $10.99 for the 30 ml bottle. And they're available in 0, 3, 6, 12, 18, and 24 milligrams. So there you go. These are officially licensed by Gwar, the band, which I've been listening to for years. I think they rock. So that has nothing to do with e-liquid. So let's get down to the reviews, shall we? Alright, like I said, the first review is going to be on the Gwar Y4 flavor, and I'm going to read you the description. So here's the description on the Gwar Y4 flavor. It says, "Our lords and masters Gwar commanded we make an RY4 worthy of them. This is our take on a classic vanilla caramel tobacco flavor." Like I say in most of my flavor review videos, I don't really tend to favor the tobacco blends, but I can appreciate them because I used to vape tobacco all the time. So we will be trying this one with an open mind today. Let's just go ahead and dive down and get into it, shall we? So one thing I really like about this flavor is the natural tasting tobacco. I've had a lot of other tobacco flavors that really don't taste very good at all, but this flavor in here is really good and very natural, so I like that fact. Plus you get a little bit of the caramel and vanilla kind of finish to it, which kind of makes it more like a desserty vape at the end, which is nice. Overall, it's a pretty decent vape. I believe these are 60-40. I'm not exactly sure. 60 VG, 40 PG. They do make a pretty decent cloud though, especially for a 0.3 ohm build, which is not the lowest out there, but let's give another cloud here. Yeah, I'm definitely loving the little sweetness to the end of this vape. I really can appreciate the time and effort they really took in making these liquids for you. So yeah, this one is actually pretty decent, and I could see myself occasionally vaping this, so very good job for making me like a tobacco flavor. As far as my ratings go, for the flavor on this one, I'll give it a 3.5. It gives you a really nice, bold, natural tasting tobacco with a nice sweet finish to it. It's not my preferred all-day vape, but I can definitely see myself vaping this one. So for that, I'll give it a 3.5. For the vapor, I'll give it a 3.5 as well, because, I mean, for the blend, I'm not exactly positive what the blend is on this, but for whatever it is, it delivers a pretty decent cloud. This isn't a cloud chasing build by any means, but it does deliver on the vapor production portion. And as far as the throat hit goes, these are all 6 milligram, my preferred nicotine strength. I actually recently dropped it down to 3 milligram, but I can definitely vape these with ease. The throat hit's really kind of lax, so I'll give it a 3. It's not really strong. It's not really what I would expect a 6 to be. Considering I've been vaping 3 milligram, these kind of feel like 3 milligram to me. So on that, it's kind of a little bit light on this one. Alright, so that does it for Gwar Y4. Let's move on to our next flavor. So we're all re-wicked and ready to go. I've got some German chocolate beefcake in here. Let's read the description. A sweet cake flavor with a perfect combination of chocolate, coconut, and caramel. This liquid was concocted from an ancient recipe enjoyed by all who reside on the planet cholesterol. I can definitely attest to that. This is one of the better chocolate flavors I've ever tried. I've definitely never been a chocolate fan of vapor-related products, at least. But this one, it's funny because I was at the New England Vapors Christmas party a few weeks ago, and I accidentally brought the wrong bottle of Gwar fluids to the bar. So I ended up letting a few other people try it, and they just loved it. I actually did enjoy it myself too. Not being a huge dessert vapor, this one definitely is on the top of the list, I can say that. So let's have a vape here. So if the description didn't have the word coconut in there, I probably would not have really picked that one out. But now that they mention it, I can definitely see that it's in there. As far as the chocolate flavor goes, it's really natural tasting. It's just like you're eating a big hunk of chocolate cake. So for that aspect, I think it's a big win. And as far as the vanilla, yeah, nice sweet vanilla, just like the last one, the Gwar Y4. So this one's a big win for the dessert vapor category. If you liked a dessert vape and you like eating chocolate cake, this one's definitely going to be for you. But make sure you skip dessert because this one is sweet. This is definitely one of the sweeter vapes I've ever tried, so let's give it one more puff here and I'll get to my ratings. Alright, so for my ratings on this one, for the flavor, I'll give it a 4. I've never been a huge chocolate vapor or dessert vapor at all, but the chocolate in this one really takes the cake. Ha 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 ha. As for the coconut and vanilla, yeah, you get that really nice sweet finish to it. It definitely feels like you're vaping a nice big hunk of chocolate cake with some coconut shavings drizzled over the top. Big win in my book for this one. Not an all-day vape again, but definitely on the top of the dessert vapes in my opinion. As for the vapor, I'll give it a 3.5, same as the last one. Doesn't deliver on the clouds, but it's not so much for the vapor as it is the flavor. I think the flavor really delivers on this one, so that's why, you know, I push my ratings more towards the flavor aspect more than the vapor. And as for the throat hit, same as the last one, I'll give it a 3. A little bit light for my liking, but it definitely is noticeable somewhat. It's more like a 3 milligram in my opinion, so I'm guessing for the rest of these it's going to be about the same. You might want to bump up your nicotine level if you're vaping these and you're used to a stronger throat hit. So that does it for German chocolate beefcake. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, I'm back, and now we have some Gizmoglobin rocking in this thing. I know it's a funny name, but let's read the description here. A creamy blueberry blend with notes of nut and custard. Each bottle of Gizmoglobin is freshly harvested by Skullhead Face herself. So there you go. It's a nice blueberry mix to it. I'm enjoying this one so far. Let's have a vape. So the blueberry in this one isn't really like the star of the show, but it's definitely there. It's not a very sour blueberry. It's very natural tasting to me, and the rest of it is very nice and smooth, like the nuttiness to it. Yeah, it's present, but it's not overbearing. These flavors blend together really well. Kind of surprised, to be honest with you. You know, I never expected this kind of blend to work so well, and it's almost like you know, fruity kind of cereal in a way. So all you cereal vapors out there, I know those kind of flavors are really rocking the market right now. For you guys, I think you would really enjoy this one. I definitely would say give it a shot. It's kind of like Captain Crunch, kind of like the berries and all that. Definitely reminds me of that, so I think that's a big time win. Again, it's not a really all-day vape for me, but to be honest, this one's pretty good in its own category. It's hard to say whether it's a dessert vape or what, but I kind of categorize it in the same thing like a cereal vape. It's just kind of a good blend in the blueberry, again, not overbearing, and I like the other flavors in it, so pretty decent. Very good for an occasional vape. Now for my ratings on this one, for the flavor, I'll give it a 4.5. Never thought this kind of flavor combination would work so well together, but it really does. I like the very subtle hint of the blueberry. It's in there, but it's not too overbearing. The rest of it just kind of blends together really nicely, so on that, I'll give it a 4. For the vapor, I'll give it a 4 as well, because I feel like this one might be a little bit denser than the others. It does deliver a pretty decent thick cloud of vapor. So for, you know, if you like a good dense vapor, then this one's probably for you. And as far as the throat hit, just like the others, I'll give it a 3. Nothing too overbearing. I can chain vape this no problem at 6 milligram, and before with other flavors I'd get a head rush, but for this one, no problem. So that about does it for Gizmoglobin. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so I have Bloodbath in here now. I'm freshly re-wicked and we're ready to go. Let's read the description. A powerful tropical fruit blend specially designed to satisfy the bloodlust of every scumdog in the universe. So there you go. This one is a kind of a nice, Hawaiian punch kind of flavor. I couldn't guess that. I was vaping this one in the cat stripper for a while before I reviewed it. So I had to say that it was more like a cherry flavor in my mind. I couldn't really pinpoint any specific flavor, but it definitely is a nice satisfying fruity blend. So in that aspect, I think it's really good. Let's have a vape. So lately I've been trying to find a really good Hawaiian Punch replica. I've tried a few other ones from like White Label and things like that, and nothing's really come close, but this one is as close as I've gotten so far to a good Hawaiian Punch. It's very fruity, really nice and sweet, very delightful. Like I said, I can't pick a single flavor out to, specifically, but it's all in there. It's all pretty good. I must say it's got a slight kind of medicine-y taste to it, so that kind of puts me off to this one a little bit, but nothing to the point where I just can't vape it anymore. I have to put it down. I've been vaping this one for about a week now, and I've pretty much enjoyed it. So I think this one's a pretty decent blend. Other than that, the vapor on it is pretty average. Let's have another vape and I'll get to my ratings. So it's hard to say what exactly shines in this flavor itself. Like I said, I guessed it was a cherry flavor to begin with without reading the description. Really couldn't say that it would be a fruity Hawaiian kind of tropical fruit blend. But for me, that's okay. I don't mind. It's a decent blend itself. So for the flavor on this one, I'll give it a 3.5. It could be an all-day vape for me. I like the fruity flavors myself, so this one's pretty good. As far as the vapor, 3.5, just like the rest of them. And for the throat hit, a 3, just like the rest of them. It doesn't really deliver the punch that I was used to, but it's definitely noticeable. So there you go. There's my ratings for Bloodbath. Let's move on to the final one. Alright, so for the final flavor I'm going to review for you guys today, it's going to be Spew. Let's read the description. A primarily melon flavor with hints of mixed fruits and berries, from the wretched bowels of scumdogs to your lips, a true Gwar classic. And I couldn't agree more. This one really reminds me of the high voltage flavor, Short Circuit, with the melon and cream kind of blending together. This one's definitely really good. I really love a good melon vape, and this one's definitely my favorite out of this line. So let's have a vape and I'll talk about it some more. So right off the bat, you definitely get a big melon blast, and then it follows with a nice creamy berry blend. This one is my all-time favorite for this line specifically. I really love this flavor. This is definitely one of the ones that I had to put down because I was afraid I was going to vape the whole bottle. So it's been kind of sitting on my desk for a while. Haven't touched it or tried not to touch it. But yeah, this one is definitely a good flavor in my book. All day vape for me for sure, and I love, the melon in it is really nice and ripe and fresh. Very relaxing. The overall blend is just so nice and smooth. I can't say enough about how much I love this stuff. So let's have another vape real quick and I'll get to my ratings. Alright, so for the flavor on this one, I'm going to give it a 5. This is definitely not only my favorite in this line, but almost, a definitely top 5 as far as my favorite e-liquids of all time I've ever vaped. So really love this one. The melon flavor in this one is definitely top notch, and the berries mixed together so nicely. It gives you a nice, refreshed kind of feeling, and the mix, it just blends so well together, and I kind of detect a hint of like cream in there, something like that. It gives it a really nice smooth finish. So for this one, definitely a 5 out of 5. Very, very, very well done, Mount Baker. For the vapor on this one, I'm going to give it a 4. Very good dense clouds on this one. Really just kind of similar to the others, basically. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Just seems a little bit more dense than the others. And for the throat hit, again, same with the full line, 3.5 out of 5. Not anything too spectacular. It doesn't really kick the back of your throat, but it's nice and mellow. It's in there, but it's not really noticeable. So 3.5 on the throat hit. Alright, so that does it for my review on the flavors. I just want to make a few notes as to this full line in and of itself. They do offer a colored and uncolored version of these flavors that do have food coloring in them. So I chose the non-colored versions. This one here is Bloodbath. As you can see, it's pretty clear. They offer like a very bright red version of it, which I'm not really into the whole food coloring and e-liquid thing, and I'm really glad they offer an uncolored version. Just gives you another option just in case you don't want to be vaping food coloring, especially with the Gizmoglobin. This one is uncolored Gizmoglobin. On the website you can see that normally it's colored with a deep blue hue to it, and the uncolored version is very natural looking. Again, I just can't stress enough that putting anything extra in e-liquid is just completely unnecessary. So glad they offer the uncolored versions, and in my opinion they should really just take the food coloring versions completely off their site. I think it's really just unnecessary. I know aesthetically it looks nice and people want to see what they're vaping, and you know, they kind of attribute a color to a certain flavor, but I just kind of try to vape it and see what I see in it, and that's what I get out of it. As for being officially licensed by Gwar, I think that's really cool. You don't really see too many crossovers with bands and stuff like that too much in this industry, so it's kind of cool that Gwar is getting into it, and I really like the fact that they actually, you know, corresponded with the band itself. Personally, I'd like to see more of this kind of crossover thing between, you know, the music industry and vaping. I just think that a lot of this stuff goes hand in hand, you know, like just a cool subculture that is vaping in and of itself. So that's just an interesting little fact. When I first saw these flavors, I'm like, Gwar fluids? I don't know what I think about that. So after reading that they were officially licensed, I just felt like that was just one more connection that I feel like vaping has brought into this world. In this industry in general, so I just think it's a really cool thing. So that about wraps up my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Check out www.spinfuel.com for lots more of my videos, as well as Smoke and Joy and the Vapor Trail channel. Stay tuned for my next episode. I'll be doing a build video in the near future, and as always, vape on.